the fourth quarter as far as the overall play, the shots? You talked about finding the shooters, weren't able to do that. What ultimately led to what you feel like happened in that fourth?
Yeah, I got to look at the tape, but I like the way we played overall offensively throughout the game. We're trying to trust the pass more. We generated more threes. We moved the basketball. Still plenty of possessions where we could have gone one more. But we had a more balanced attack, and I think defensively, they were hurting us. I'm sorry. In terms of offensively, we weren't stopping them in the fourth. So we're taking the ball out of the basket and. Double teaming Luka, they were hurting us, and when we weren't doubling, he was hurting us as well. And I think that took us out of our rhythm offensively some.
Curious, with Kevin only getting 11 shot attempts, why do you think that was tonight?
Yeah, well, he's trying to play the right way, And when we did move the basketball, there was the third quarter in particular, guys were making shots, but there was one more where Kevin Durant's open, where we weren't swinging it. Again, some of those you're making the shots, some of the time the ball's not coming to him. Our ideal best possession is he initiates, gets double teamed, we work the ball around the horn, and the ball finds him again. But a lot of times it didn't. But Grayson Allen was making threes, Eric Gordon's making threes, so it wasn't like we were losing some of those possessions. We were still scoring. He just wasn't getting the shot. But I think our guys had an overall selfless intent to play the game the right way tonight, and I was happy with that.
Curious with, Devin was just up here and he was talking about how himself, you, Durant, Gordon got to flip this around. Like, it's on you guys to do that. Do you have the same feelings in regards to that?
Yeah, it's all we're consumed with right now, honestly. All of us. We're all looking within and looking at the big picture, what we can individually do better. But, me in particular as the coach, just looking what the ways we can move the pieces around, and I thought this game was different than the last couple. I thought we really shared the basketball well and generated a higher shot quality, than we've been getting the last couple of games. We just weren't able to slow down Luka and their backside double team attack.
Luka's obviously a ridiculous talent. You can play good defense on him, and he can still light you up. How did you feel about the defensive execution against him, and how much of this is just crazy talent going off?
We could have been a lot better. Try to mix pitches, right? Not just give them double teams for 48, not play them straight up for 48. I think we probably were in double teams 70% of the game, if I had to guess. And, the ones we didn't guard them well enough on ball with some things we want to do when we're not doubling. And, I think the 4-on-3, we just didn't make enough low man plays, especially first half. We missed 4 in the first quarter. You got to take the ball out of his hands, but then you got to make plays on the backside. And we weren't making those plays, and then we had to stretch a flurry in the fourth where we had to make some low man plays as well, or scramble outs. So not good enough. We did take the ball out of his hands a bunch, but weren't good enough on the backside.
You go with Chimezi in the second half to start. What did you like about what he gave you guys?
Yeah, he's playing his ass off. Honestly, he's just making plays in the pocket, finishing plays at the rim. Extra passes. He was helping us. He was one of the drivers of the good ball movement that we were getting. So we decided to go with him, and he had a career night.
Coach,
Go ahead, Jeremy.
When you have a game like that where you feel like you build on things offensively but don't get the end result, do you focus on what you can build on, or is it more frustrating?
Of course. No, you want to win, but every win or lose, there's lessons about your team in every game. So we'll take some of them in the next one.
Coach, you kept Chimezi in instead of Drew for most of the game. Went small, especially during that third quarter surge. But you feel like keeping him in, going small, kind of hurt the fact that Derek Lively was basically dominating in the paint and a lot of you guys playing behind him.
Not really, because our fives were out double teaming Luka. So the backside guys got a battle. If anything, just having more size out on the backside could have been a difference maker. But like I said, our fives are in those double teams on the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
When you look at that fourth quarter, it's another one where I think they outscored you guys 37-22. Maybe what you feel like led to that tonight?
just poor rotations, poor game plan discipline. When we do what we're supposed to do out there, it works. And then, as the game goes on, we just lose focus.
Curious with, and one of the points of emphasis was locating the shooters. Because obviously Luka, he draws doubles and guys get free. But, is that part of what you're discussing as far as the game plan?
Yeah. I mean, he causes a lot of double teams, and, that's 4-on-3 on the backside. It's just, having the intelligence of who you're closing out to and knowing their tendencies and what they're good at.
And then only other thing I had with Grayson, coming back and having the kind of game he had, when you speak to his performance.
He shot the shit out of it.
What's the frustration level like after this stretch that you guys have been?
High. Every loss is tough.
When you look at the turnovers in the fourth quarter, was it just being sloppy with the ball, or what were you seeing out there?
Spacing, purpose on every play, just being dynamic, treating half-court offense kind of like it's transition, just constant moving, and, we get a little stagnant and people load up on me and KD, and, it just causes tight windows.
Where do you think the balance is right now in terms of finding the ball movement but not overpassing at the same time?
It could be better. I mean, I think in the first half we had a lot of open looks. They're leaving 40% shooters wide open, and, those are passes that I'm going to make every time. So, when the defense tries to get the ball out of your hand, and, I trust the players on this team, I'm going to throw it to them every time. And first half we were just missing them.
It's not like you and Kevin have your shot totals that low for a game. Do you credit that more to how defense was, the Dallas was scheming you, or do you and Kevin need to be more aggressive?
I'd say scheme. I mean, that's what it comes down to. That's what it came down to in the playoffs last year. Teams are going to, make us throw it to those guys. And, I'm going to keep doing it and, make sure the right guy's in the right spot and, knock down the shots.
It goes back to your philosophy, just make the right play, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it might be a tough question to answer, but the loss of focus defensively, is there anything that you can attribute that to?
No. I mean, it takes 5 people, so, one slip up will, leave an open shooter, and, that's all it takes in the NBA. So, 5 people have to be on a string, and the communication has to be high.
Is it part of the frustration, Devin, that it's one here, it's one there, it's not, that's causing, each situation to unravel whenever stuff like that happens?
What's the question?
Just, when you have a situation where, like, one person doesn't get to where they need to be, and it's like, okay, that's throwing off the entire group. Is that part of the frustration?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like I said, all 5 people have to be engaged. It's the NBA, and if you want to win at a high level, every possession counts. And, those one slip-ups, if they happen, can't happen again.
Devin, obviously frustrating time for you, for the team. Are you concerned about a snowball effect with the frustration?
No. We just have to get it together. And, that's on me, that's on Coach, that's on KD, Eric, all the leaders that we have in here to make sure that we're more prepared when we come play.
Thanks, bro.
Yep.
Thanks, bro.
You missed your first 3 shots, and then you went on and kind of turned it around quickly like you did.
Yeah.
How encouraging was it just to have that and then get going like you did?
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. It was the first, I think it was four shots were frustrating. I felt like they were like in the hoop and back out. So next 2 after that, everything felt good. So when I got more looks, it was just same shot, same motion, and they started to go in.
So that third quarter, I think you scored 19, but specifically got that revenue where you just was unconsciously getting the shots.
Yeah, we generated a lot of good looks offensively, and I was on the receiving end, like a lot of driving kicks, multiple drives, multiple efforts, some good kickouts from offensive rebounds, like a lot of good extra passes, and a lot of them just happened to be in the right spot, from moving, getting open, whatever it was, and then playing a lot of that small pick and roll with Book and Kev up there and trying to create some confusion on the slipping out or setting it, rolling, popping, being a driver off that. So just a couple of different things that were working for us offensively.
What's, if you could put your finger on what's wrong right now, what would you say?
What's wrong? I mean, it's frustrating. And like tonight, like we offensively, I feel like has been where we've been lacking a little bit. I feel like we've been in some games where if we had a normal shooting night, a normal offensive night, it would have been a W for us. Like tonight, like we have a pretty good all-around offensive night from everybody. And a guy scores 50. So, you know, part of that is hats off to Luka. Like our game plan was throwing different bodies, doubling, throwing different looks at him, and he got hot with his step-back threes and carved it up with some passing early, and it made it really difficult to guard for the rest of the game. So I just think for our group, like we just got to keep playing games. Like I feel like every time we're out there, we're getting a little bit more together. You start to see little bits and pieces of stuff come together. Like we have great stretches. We have great quarters. Like we haven't put together a 48 where we can like truly say like this is our identity, this is who we are. But we have great stretches where you can really see it coming together. And the more and more games we play, I think we're going to start to put together some 48-minute stretches where that's who we are.
To your point about that, when you're going through a tough stretch like this and trying to get the reps to get to that point, what's the key with a group of guys who are all relatively new to each other to kind of stay together and get through this type of adversity?
Yeah, but we got to keep a little bit more positive energy going. Like it's very easy to look around and be frustrated because we have the talent to win more games. Like the way our team is put together, I feel like we should be winning more games, but we are a new group and we have to take the growing pains in stride and keep a positive energy because you got to be very optimistic about the flashes that we do put together that are good because that's truly who we are and who we can be. And early on in the season, still early on in the season in December, and we've been unfortunate with injuries early on that's delayed some of the more stuff, but I truly believe, I'm really optimistic that if we keep putting minutes together out there on the court, we're going to start flowing. So some positive energy here through the frustrating losses.
When you look at Metu, what stood out about his play for you tonight?
He played incredible. Rebounding the ball was huge. I mean, he got a lot of extra possessions for us. My first three was wide open because of an offensive rebound. First made three was wide open because of an offensive rebound he got. And he was really dynamic in the roller spot. He obviously scored the ball really well, but he made some great passes out of the half roll when they're trapping Book and Kev up top. Was a really good decision maker, and then he's a good lob threat down low and the dunker, a good finisher down there and knocking down threes. He was really all over the court and was great for us tonight.
Grayson, have you seen like an inconsistent theme? It seems like a lot of star players have come in here this year and just went off basically. And have you seen any consistent theme in that?
Yeah, I mean, so far we've had two guys that we've played really differently. Like the last two big performances were Brunson and Luka tonight, and we played both of those guys pretty differently. I think the Brunson game, I think all of us, players, coaches, if we would have gone back, we probably would have guarded it a little differently. I think tonight with Luka, like, I think we had a good game plan for him. He's just really, really good. And when you're trapping the ball, like, our rotations on the weak side could have been better. Like, there's a couple times I was back there and he's skipping it to somebody who's driving right by us. Like, it's got to be better so that the guys that are on the ball being aggressive and trapping him are more comfortable and aren't as worried about getting back. But, I mean, a guy like that, when he starts hitting step-back threes out of a double team, it's pretty difficult to say, like, what are you going to give up tonight?
Thanks, Grayson.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.